Well, hello there, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're safe and well. In this video, I'll be addressing an issue that I've had with my HW97 spring rifle. Go on then, roll the titles. Just thought I'd make a quick video about this issue that I've discovered with this particular rifle. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you might recognise this. This is my HW97 in a Gin B stock, and this is my HFT competition rifle. And I switched from doing one video a week to one video a fortnight because I wasn't finding time to practice with this rifle. And since I did switch, it had the desired effect, and my shooting performance was coming on leaps and bounds. My average score was going up. Everything was hunky-dory. And then just the last couple of weeks, I've just sort of dropped off a cliff again. And this sort of coincided with me noticing, if I show you the rifle at the end, the underlever was stopping clipping in the barrel weight. Just ignore this bit of tape on here at the moment. I'll explain what that's for. But obviously wasn't clipping in. So what I've been doing the last couple of competitions is dropped it. Is having to put a hairband round the end of the barrel after I load, like that, just to hold the underlever up. Anyway, let me show you how it looks in the end. If I turn the rifle upside down, I'll put a camera over the top and show you what it looks like under the underlever. Right, I've got the camera handheld, so it's going to wave around a little bit. But if you look here, there's a gap there between the pin, the sprung-loaded pin on the top of the underlever, and the actual clip that the bit of the clip that it's supposed to clip into. Now, this is worn. You can see here there is a lot of wear here, but it should still clip under that edge there, and you can see that there's a gap. Look, and it's at least about 5mm or more, which is quite a big gap. So either the underlever has shrunk or the barrel has grown to create that gap. Now, obviously, neither of those things are true. So I was suspecting that the barrel weight come moderator has actually slid forward along the barrel, and therefore it no longer catches. And because it's slid forward on the barrel, it's affected the accuracy of the rifle. It may even be causing clipping. I'll have to take the sort of plug out at the end and examine inside, see if there's any lead fragments or any lead dust, because I wonder whether that's clipping, and that might explain why I've noticed this loss of accuracy. Because at the moment, anything over 35 yards, it's hit or miss whether I can knock the target over, which is no good whatsoever compared to the performance that I had with this rifle before. So anyway, just recently I put a new spring in the HW97 that belonged to my shooting buddy Jerry, so I know he's got a 97. And today I asked him to measure on his 97. I'll show you where we were going to measure from. I want him to measure from this front edge of the breech here, where the barrel goes in, to the lip of the barrel weight, and the measurement on his is 158mm. And I've measured mine, and mine is 163, which is a full 5mm longer, and 5mm is roughly what that gap, the size of that gap that looks like on the clip. So anyway, the reason that the white mark is on here, I'll get the camera close up and see if I can show it, but there's a definite little mark or band on my barrel at 158mm, which looks like where the barrel weight eventually was, which is where I've put that bit of tape. So that bit of tape there is lined up with that mark. And what I'm going to try and do is there's a grub screw underneath the barrel weight, but the grub screw, I don't think the grub screw just holds that barrel weight on. I think the barrel weight's actually stuck on with Loctite or something, because I've seen online people saying that you have to heat it up to get the Loctite to melt, so that you can take this off and put a new one on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that grub screw out, which I think probably just locates in an indent on the barrel when it's in the correct position, and I'm going to have a go with a block of wood and a rubber mallet and try and see if I can knock it back into position. What I have done, because that barrel weight is worn at the lip end, I've put in an order for a new one anyway to replace it, so I might have to eventually take this one off completely. But in the interim, what I want to do is see if I can knock it back into position, see if I actually get my accuracy back where it's supposed to be. So just to be safe, taking the scope off, because I don't want to start bashing the end of the barrel with the scope on there, and that suffer, sort of like suffering from the shock or whatever. So I'll get the camera again and see if I can show you this little marking and the band on the end of the barrel. If you look there, you can see, look, that's a 5mm section, and there's a definite line there where I've put the white tape, and that's where I think that this edge of the barrel weight should be back at that area there. So I'm going to try and knock this back, and that is the 158mm mark, and this is 163. So I think that's where it needs to go. So I'm going to try and move it back. Obviously I need to do this as safely as possible, but in order to get to the grub screw and undo the grub screw and keep the underlever out of the way, I need to cock the rifle. So I've got my little block of wood that goes in the breech that will stop the piston liner shooting forward and trapping anything. So, that's my safety aspect or whatever on it. So let's get cracking, cock the rifle, get the grub screw out. And it's 2mm Allen key grub screw that comes out of this piece here. So there we go, that's the grub screw out. Let me stick that in there where I don't lose it. And I guess it's just a case of brute force and ignorance to see if that end piece is going to move at all. So I'll give it a bash with a hammer and see. Yeah. I think what I'm going to have to do is put the butt down on the ground and knock it down towards the ground. That will probably be the safest thing to do. So we'll try that. Right. Don't try this at home, folks. Well, 2 good swipes and it looks like we've done it. Let me have a look. Right, let's stick that back on here, and I'll show you on the handheld camera again. And there we go, 2 cracks, and it's lined up with the mark where I put the tape back on. I'll take the wooden block out and see how the underlever clips back in. And there we go, you can see it's back in the right place. So if I press that button, it clips down and it clips in properly again now, which is interesting. It works as it's going to, so that's well locked in there. That's not going to come out again. So I say, I've not noticed this before, not ever seen anybody mention it. If you know anybody else that's had one of these that has suffered the same sort of problem, then mention it in the comments. So I guess what I need to do now is to put the grub screw back in, which, if I move this forward, you can see where the grub screw hole is. There's the grub screw, and make sure that that's tightened up, and hopefully that won't move again. Right, just gone and got a pellet, because obviously this rifle's cocked, so I need to put a pellet in, go and shoot this out in the garden to decock the rifle, because obviously you should never dry fire a spring rifle. Right, grub screws back in, and just going to check the measurement just to make sure that we are correct. So measuring from that gap up to there is, yeah, 158, spot on 158. So that's all good. What I'm going to do now is take the end plug out of the barrel weight and just have a look inside, see if there's any evidence of pellet clipping to explain my loss of accuracy. So it's an unusual size for an Allen key. It's a 7mm Allen key. Most Allen key sets, they skip the 7, they go straight from 6 to 8. But I have got a 7mm in my toolbox, so I'm going to grab that and take that off and have a look. This is the back end of the end cap then, and you can see, I mean, look at all that crud around the end there. I've taken the spring and the scouring pad that is in the standard rifle out of this, so I've just got an empty barrel weight. There's no sound deadening material in there at all, and there's definitely some remnant of lead there. You can see very grey and horrible, and if I try and show you through the end of the barrel, it's quite powdery. So yeah, potentially we could have been having some clipping. I wouldn't expect it to be sort of shiny bits of lead, but you can see all that crud around the inside there. There's the inside of the barrel. So you can zoom in, so you can see, look, it's very, very filthy and grey. Lots of dust and lead and stuff in there. So I'm going to give that a good clean out. And hopefully we've resolved the accuracy issues. Certainly resolved the issue with the underlever, so that's good. Go, give that a good clean, so you can see the difference now. Got rid of all that crud. So what I'm going to do now is put a couple of pull throughs through the barrel while I've got this end off, so I can thread the pull through easier, and just give the barrel a quick clean just in case. That was to blame partly as well. There we go then, all back together, scopes back on, everything's torqued up, including the stock bolts on a Springer. Always need to remember, check your stock bolts are torqued up and tight at all times. If they do loosen up, it does affect your accuracy. So clean barrel, barrel weight back in the right place. Everything, yeah, is all hunky-dory. So as soon as I get a chance, I'll have to do some accuracy testing with it out on the range, and I will report back. But for now, that's a wrap. Well, it's been a couple of days since I sorted out the barrel weight on my HW97, and I'm down here in the woods at Cambridge Gun Club. Been finishing off the last little bits and pieces of setting the course for the next stage of T-Comp. So been doing a bit of strimming, making sure that the pegs are in the right position, and that all the targets are all visible for sticks and for prone and stuff, all those little bits and fiddly bits that you need to do at last minute. So while it's nice and quiet here and quite a gentle wind, I've put my backstop box with me and put that out 25 yards. I'm going to check the zero. I mean, I took the scope off and put that back on, so I need to check that. So we'll check the zero, and then what I'm going to do is I bought one of my own targets, 25mm flop over squirrel, that I'm going to put out at sort of 35-40 yards. It's 25mm kill. They're the shots that I was wildly missing the last two comps. So going to have a go with that and see if the actual pellets are back on target now I've knocked this barrel weight into place. I only got the one camera with me, so I'll put some shots down range at this zero. I'll show you the card after I've shot it, if it's not that bad. But yeah, so I haven't got a downrange camera and an uprange camera with me, just the one.
So I think it's a case of chasing the zero here. Started with this group here. This was the first shot from a cold gun, and then I got pretty close here. So I moved across. I think there were 3 pellets in there, and made an adjustment, 1 flyer there. Come up to here, and then they went all over the place a bit. Come up here, couple of shots up the top there, couple of shots down there. So I made another adjustment, and then this is what I've just shot. This is 4 pellets here. So 4 pellets on top of each other. I think that's a pretty accurate representation of where the pellets are actually going. So I'm going to measure that on my reticle. It's down on the diagonal, so it's going to be the same number of clicks right as the same number of clicks up. And then we'll give this a go. But that being said, you know, they're all roughly going to go in a 15mm diameter kill at 25 yards. So I'm not too unhappy with that at the moment. I'd like to be able to get it so that it's actually more around over the spot. But we'll have another go from following on from this group, move it across and up, and then see how we get on. There's a squirrel I'm using then. It's just screwed to a couple of planks, and then I've put 4 long screws straight through each corner so that I can just stand on them and stick them in the ground. So it's okay for just sort of temporarily for practice. Obviously no good if you want the target there for any length of time, but it's quite useful for moving the target around for different distances, and then you don't have to carry something that's really heavy around with you. Well, my 35-yard aim point is half milled up holdover, so we'll give it a go with that. Not going to give it any wind. There's only a gentle breeze today, and I think it's sort of blowing down the lane, so we should be okay. We'll see how we get on. Oh. Well, that's a kill. Let's try that again. Oh. Yep. See if we can make it 3 in a row. Yep, that's 3 in a row, I think. Got to be happy with that. Now that target further back, it's not a 25mm kill, it's a 35mm kill, but I think that's probably nearer. Obviously that's a bit further. I think it's nearer 40, might even be further than 40. We'll give that a go, see if we can knock that one over. Ooh. Yep, and we got that one as well. Well, that's cool. Everything's looks like it's working again as it should be. I didn't bring my ruler with me to check this measurement. I guess when I get home I'll have to check to see whether that measurement is still the same as it's supposed to be, which I think was, what, 158mm. So then that shows that this hasn't moved being firing, and I'll just have to keep an eye on it. But no, it seems to be knocking over 35mm, 25 mils at 35 and 35s beyond 40. So what more can you ask from an HFT gun? So I'm going to carry on doing a bit of practice while I'm here then, make the most of it, do some more shooting at 25 yards and practice those other 2 targets. And so I'm going to sign off from the woods. I'm back from the woods now then, but I did hang about there for a while, carry on practicing, put a few more shots down on the flop over targets, and particularly on the 25 metre, not 25 metre, on the 25 yard paper target, just to make sure that nothing was changing on the rifle and my 0 was still on song. This was the card that I shot on my backstop box that I had out at 25 yards. And there you can see the last group that I shot. That was 5 shots that shot down at the range. Now, considering that I was shooting prone and up the peg, they were all within a 10mm group, so I was quite happy with that. Now, the following Saturday from that session that I had in the woods was the Cambridge Gun Club HFT competition, which is on the 4th Saturday of every month. So I thought perfect opportunity to check the 97 out in competition and make sure that everything was fine and it was back to normal. So I didn't shoot particularly well from my perspective. Yeah, I got to admit I donutted the stander, which is like unusual for me. I usually always plate it, so obviously that was 2 points gone right from the start. And I got 3 splitters, but none of those splitters went my way. Now, if you're not familiar with what a splitter is, that's where your pellet hits the edge of the keel. And if you're lucky, the lead pellet splits in 2 with enough of the lead going through the keel to knock the paddle over. And in my case, 3 splitters, none of them knocked the paddle over. So again, that was another 3 points I lost. But at the end of the day, I scored a 47 in what was a tricky wind at times. So I've got to be happy with that. Certainly a better score than I've been scoring, the last few competitions. So it looks like everything's back to normal with the gun then. So happy days. That's it for this video then. Thanks very much for joining me. If you're still with me at this stage in the video, appreciate you. If you liked it, then you know what to do. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why not? Hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps me out. Thanks very much. Hopefully, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.